Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today to talk to you about an issue that affects us all and our very way of life. Recycling is such an important environmental issue and has been adopted in the lifestyles of many people. Recycling has made a significant impact on reversing, or at least stopping, the damages from pollution to our Earth. Surprisingly, there are still thousands and thousands of people that are still throwing away perfectly recyclable things. Let's start off with a question. How many of you read a newspaper each day? Now, how many of you throw it in the garbage after you are done reading it? Think how long that paper was used for. How long will that paper be in the ground? Is there a better way? Of course there is. The answer? Recycling. I think we need to do better to get everyone recycling. My hope is that by the end of this presentation, you won't be thinking of reasons not to participate in recycling. Rather, you'll be thinking more about all the ways you can help your community by recycling. Recycling helps your community in 4 major ways. 1. More jobs. 2. Less air and water pollution. 3. Saving energy. And last but not least, 4. Saving money and land space. Recycling is to Earth as breath is to life. In fact, if you listen closely, you will hear the Earth crack, burst, and burn. If you ask a random person on the street what they think about recycling, 9 times out of 10, they'll smirk and tell you it's good for the environment. In reality, many of these people don't understand the significance of recycling. Recycling can be as simple as returning an item back to its original condition, so then it can be reused. A very important and obvious reason for recycling is reducing pollution in our society. We will be able to do this by keeping waste out of landfills, which can introduce contaminants and other toxins into groundwater systems. Recycling also keeps materials out of incinerators, which can pollute the air and create severe ash residue. Furthermore, recycling lowers environmental damage caused by the procreation of raw materials. It also prevents the emissions of many greenhouse gases and water pollutants, which is amazing. Though perhaps the most appealing reason to recycle is because of its ability to create a myriad of jobs. Recycling creates 10 times the amount of jobs than incinerator and landfill companies generate. Reusing, recycling, and waste reduction offer direct development opportunities for communities. In some ways, the Earth is as fragile as a newborn baby. Recycling not only creates jobs, it also saves money and doesn't raise the amount of our taxes. If a community's landfill space fills up, we need a new landfill to be built. How's this expensive process paid for? This expense needs to be covered with money from our community pockets. Recycling has the potential for reducing the use of raw resources, which we are running out of or are too expensive to mine. This is exactly what is fueling metal recycling. It can also prevent us from running out of raw resources that we are using at an unsustainable rate. What are some things that would be potential contaminants within a landfill that can be recycled? Some of these things are batteries, mercury-filled thermometers, CFL light bulbs, electronics, refrigerators, among many others. Let's take some time to talk about saving energy. It takes less energy to process recycled materials than it does to use new materials. One example of this is paper. If it's recycled, there is no need to cut down the tree, process the wood from the tree, and make it into paper. You might be asking, what's the big deal about saving energy through recycling? Well, energy from non-renewable resources is protected and saved for generations to come. Money is saved when less energy is used, and often pollution and emissions are reduced when less energy is used as well. Need an idea of what this could mean? Production of recycled paper uses 80% less water, 65% less energy, and produces 95% less air pollution than new paper production. In addition to this, recycling saves not only energy, but land space and money as well. Who doesn't like a few extra bucks at the end of the month? Recycling your metals, papers, plastics, and glass can add up to significant savings, and cash in your pocket once sold to your local recycling station. Recycling reduces trash in landfill sites when the current landfills become too full to store any more waste. Recycling is an easy and less expensive alternative to clearing more land for new landfills. For example, composting, recycling kitchen waste, and yard waste into compost provides a means of free nutritious soil for gardening. In addition, most waste is not biodegradable. It stays in the landfills for years to come, just sitting there and piling up with the rest of the trash. Recycling would allow us to reuse the materials over and over again. If you think about it, it's a natural act to recycle. Next, recycling helps with reducing further air and water pollution. Decomposing waste often releases noxious gases and chemicals as it decomposes at landfill sites. These gases and chemicals create air pollution. When the chemicals leach into the groundwater, this creates water pollution and our water is contaminated. In 2000, recycling of solid waste prevented the release of 32.9 million metric tons of carbon equivalent into the air. Imagine how much pollution we could prevent if instead of landfills we had recycling centers. We could breathe cleaner air and drink cleaner water. Recycling can also help prevent the conversion of land and the habitats that stand on that land into wood and agricultural production. Recycling preserves wildlife. When fewer trees are cut down to make new material or to make space for landfills, habitat for wildlife remains. More habitat for animals means less animal extinction. Despite what some may say, recycling is important and it can and does make a difference. We may not be able to solve our landfill and pollution problems anytime soon, but at least we can keep them from getting worse. To do this, we need everyone's help. Even if you start small, it would be a move in the right direction. If every person made small changes, we could see how much that could impact climate change. Last but not least, recycling creates jobs and ensures better health. Recycling in the U.S. is a $236 billion industry every year. More than 56,000 recycling and reuse enterprises employ 1.1 million workers nationwide. If we created more recycling opportunities, we would create more jobs. If more of us were on board with the importance of recycling and saving our environment, we could have cleaner air, cleaner water, and work in less dangerous workstations. This would mean better health for us and our families, and at the end of the day, all of us want health and happiness for our families and our communities. Has that not convinced you yet? Let me put how much recycling really matters into numbers. Recycling 1 ton of paper saves 17 mature trees, 7,000 gallons of water, 3 cubic yards of landfill space, 2 barrels of oil, and 3,100 kilowatt hours of electricity, enough energy to power the average home for 5 months. Recycling 1 aluminum can saves enough energy to run a 100-watt bulb for 20 hours, a computer for 3 hours, and a TV for 2. Each year, we throw away 25 billion styrofoam cups, enough every year to circle the earth 436 times. So reduce, reuse, and recycle. In conclusion, recycling can help the world in many ways by saving energy, land space, and reducing pollution. Recycling can also help us save money and create more jobs. I strongly believe that recycling is occupying and participating in a growing amount of aspects of our life, and the impact it has on the communities is unquestionable. So now the question is not why get involved in recycling, it's more like why not? Try it. It really is a simple yet effective thing to do. Our world is headed for disaster, and recycling is one of the ways that we can help. So do your part in preserving the planet. Your kids will thank you for helping the earth stop crying. Thank you for being here tonight and listening to this very important topic.